Foldable phones ask us to accept one set of gains in return for new kinds of limits. The main gain is more screen area in a device that still fits in a pocket. The main limits are cost, fragile parts, and software that must learn to work across two shapes. These trade-offs shape every real user experience, from daily comfort to repair cost and long-term value. Read this paragraph at the start. It boosts retention because it sets a clear bargain in simple terms and keeps attention on the stakes ahead. The first thing to understand is the market around these devices. Production and sales grew fast at first, then slowed as the novelty settled into real use. Analysts found only small growth in 2024 and noted that the market may shrink before it grows again, which means prices and supply can move in ways buyers do not expect. This matters because slower growth gives makers less room to lower prices and more reason to push premium models with new parts rather than wider value. Design and build quality are not the same as they were with flat phones. Makers now use a mix of soft plastic and ultra-thin glass to make the inner screen foldable. Ultra-thin glass can feel more like a normal phone screen, but it is thinner and needs careful support by the hinge. Plastic layers do bend easily, but scratch more and show dents. The hinge is where most engineering effort goes. Better hinges make the screen lay flatter and reduce the visible crease, but they add parts, weight, and cost. Recent models have improved hinge designs and can fold more cleanly than first-generation devices, but they still face dust and particle entry that can harm the screen over time. The inner screen crease is both a physical and a perceptual issue. Physically, the folding radius and the glass stack cause a faint line where the screen bends. Perceptually, the crease draws attention and reminds users they are holding a mechanical device. Some people stop noticing it after days of use. Others find it distracting when reading or when bright backgrounds show the line clearly. Engineers have narrowed the crease with better materials and hinge geometry, yet the crease exists because the screen must bend. That is not a defect to be fixed with software. It is a basic result of folding glass and plastic. Materials matter, and they change what a buyer must expect. Ultra-thin glass from specialist makers gives much better scratch resistance and a higher quality feel than plastic. That glass is brittle at normal thicknesses, so companies reduce thickness and add layers and support, which increases cost. The trade-off here is a smoother touch and better clarity for a higher price and a repair cost that can be large if the inner screen fails. Manufacturers also add stronger outer glass and new coatings to protect the outer layer, but the inner display remains the most costly part to replace. Durability testing now covers hundreds of thousands of folds, but real-world wear is not a single number. Tests show hinge cycles can be very high, yet dust and sharp particles remain the common source of failure. Water resistance ratings for foldable devices are often lower than those for standard flat phones. This means a user who works around fine dust, sand, or heavy moisture faces more risk. That risk is not always visible in lab reports, but appears in long-term ownership and in repair shops. Battery life and thinness force engineers into trade-offs as well. Two screen stacks and a hinge leave less room for a large battery compared with a single slab device of equal mass. To match the runtime of a flat phone, makers use larger battery densities, software power savings, or heavier bodies. Those choices add weight or cost. For buyers who need long battery life all day without a charger, some foldables still lag behind the best flat phones. Power draw also rises when the inner large screen is active, so how a person uses the device, long video, split-screen apps, or short bursts, changes the real battery life more than simple numbers printed in a spec sheet. Software remains a critical part of the foldable story. A good operating system will move an app from the small outer screen to the large inner screen without losing the place you were at. It will let one app run in a wide view while another app runs side by side. This continuity, however, is hard to do well for every app. Big apps from major companies often adapt quickly. Small or older apps may not adapt at all and will only fill the center of the screen or scale in ways that look odd. Android provides tools and guidelines to help developers, but real-world app quality varies by developer effort and testing. That means a folding device can feel powerful for some tasks, but clumsy for others. Value and resale behave differently for foldables. Early models often hold value better in niche circles because supplies were small and demand from enthusiasts was strong. As more models arrive, resale prices can drop quickly, and a premium repair cost can make trade-in or resale less appealing. Warranties and service plans can help, but they add to the upfront cost. Buyers who plan to keep a phone for many years must weigh the high replacement cost for a rare major failure against the daily benefit of the larger screen. Every buyer faces a simple choice about the form factor. If the main priority is a thin, light device that is very rugged and has the longest battery life, a well-chosen flat phone still wins on those straightforward metrics. If the main priority is a large, bright display for reading, drawing, or heavy multitasking in a compact package, a foldable can deliver unique value. The real decision point is how often the extra inner screen will be used in ways that matter more than the added costs and the extra care the device needs. Camera systems on foldable devices are another area where trade-offs appear. Some makers put a flagship camera system on the outer side and a secondary camera for the inner screen. Others prioritize thinness or symmetry and choose smaller sensors. The result is that camera quality can be excellent on some models and merely good on others. Buyers who care deeply about photography should compare camera tests and real images rather than rely on raw megapixels. Real-world imaging depends on sensor size, image processing, and software tuning, not the fold alone. Security and updates matter more now that the device has a complex hinge and multiple displays. Long-term software support varies by brand. Regular updates improve app compatibility and extend the useful life of the device by keeping new apps working well. Choosing a maker with a strong update record reduces the risk that your costly device will be left behind by app changes. Cost is the clearest barrier to broad adoption. Foldable devices often sell at high prices because of new parts and small production runs. That premium can be justified for users who will use the extra screen daily and who accept the repair risk and service cost. For others, the price premium may be harder to accept. Market slowdowns in recent years mean that makers may raise prices to keep margins when volumes drop, or they may shift to cheaper models that cut corners on materials and hinge design. These market patterns affect value for buyers and are not a technical detail alone. Foldable phones are not a dream or a fad alone. They are a new branch of design that trades rugged simplicity for greater workspace. These devices will keep improving, and some limits will recede, yet the core bargain remains: more screen for more care and more cost. That is the truth people often miss when they only read specs. The choice becomes one of habits and priorities, not of hype.